I'm the Diddy Stitcher. My pronouns are she, her. It is Friday the 16th of August. I'm a day late. Went up to Glasgow yesterday for work, just because. One of my colleagues was going up there. She said, do you want to come for a road trip? I said, why not? So doing this on a Friday, feel a bit odd. But yeah, got some good plans for this Flosstube today. We're kind of having the second part of the whip parade, the accidental whip parade, with all of the whips that I've got here to show. And yeah, I'm kind of having like a reset with it all, which is great. So come along for the ride if you want. So if you're new, I pull a tarot card at the beginning of my videos as a kind of little thought exercise of like a little bit of direction. I find it helpful to kind of understand what I'm trying to do with my cross stitch. Could be to do with my personal life. In this context, I try and pull based on cross stitch, and also I think about the stitch community as well. So if this card speaks to you, you can take from it what you want as well. In the spirit of kind of fresh start, I've picked a new deck to pick from. This is the Y-Spell Neoteric Feminine Tarot. My friend Anna Books and Stitches, had a card from here sent to me as part of our tarot swap. And I loved it so much, I got the whole deck. So, even more of a refresh, I pulled 2 cards because I'm thinking one card isn't enough. I kind of need to know where I've been in order to know where I'm headed, kind of thing. So I pulled 2 cards today, and I pulled in like the past and present card. So my past card was the 8 of Pentacles. I will read the little book because I got like extra good feelings about this today. So the 8 of Pentacles, I just love the artwork on these as well. It's brilliant. The 8 of Pentacles reminds the asker they are more than capable of building a career that is both emotionally and financially satisfying. This card is a positive sign to follow through with goals. Skills, talent, craftsmanship, quality, high standards, expertise, mastery, commitment, dedication, accomplishment. The 8 of Pentacles represents mastery, learning new skills, and honing a craft. This card encourages the asker to further their educational skills in their industry or immerse themselves in their craft. And that's what I've been doing these past, 4 weeks? I had the whole start-a-thon. I've like been touching so many whips with Stitch the Summer Olympics. I immersed myself in my craft. I did that. That was my whole personality. So the next card that I pulled for kind of now and looking forward, maybe, of like, you know, a direction for the next 2 weeks until my next video, I pulled the 7 of Pentacles. How cute. So then I was like, okay, we're going backwards in the order of the cards, not necessarily backwards in, you know, where we're headed. But the 7 of Pentacles, harvest, rewards, results, growth, progress, perseverance, patience, and planning. 7 of Pentacles represents long-term vision, sustainability, and assessment. This card indicates the asker has been cultivating their goals through hard work and determination. The 7 of Pentacles is an invitation to project a long-term vision. Remember, the best rewards come from sustained effort over time as opposed to quick wins. the asker may feel that not enough progress has been made. And that is exactly how I'm feeling about all of this. I scratched the itch of the new starts and touching everything for the Summer Olympics challenge. And now I want to get some good progress on, you know, 1 or 2 whips. So that's where we're going. So 2 cards today. Let's see if they fit. That's where we've been. That's where we're heading. Cool. So let me get my notes. What I'm into. It's Needlework Market. Nearly. I don't know when it starts. When does it start? The end of the month? I want to say the 24th. I could completely making that up. Anyway, I'm not going to go through like all of the things that are new releases that I want, because I'm trying to be, you know, just sensible and not buy all the things that I shouldn't be starting, because I've just started a load of new things. But I did want to show the 3 models that I stitched for Yasmin's Made with Love, because I couldn't show them at the time. If you've been here since, November? I think I did 4. She's only releasing 3. I don't know where the 4th one is. I'm not going to share it because she's not released it yet. Between November and April, I stitched like, you know, big models for Yaz. So I want to share them now because I couldn't share them at the time. I just sat here and said, I've done X number of stitches on this thing that I can't show you. So now I'm going to show you. So I'm gonna do them the way that I stitched them. So the first one that I stitched is called Winter Sampler. It's a beautiful ABC sampler with a lovely vase. So I'm just gonna do stats because you can see, you know, where you want to get them, or more information about fabric and floss from Yaz. But from me, so that was 3,192 stitches, and I did it in 8 stitching sessions. That was the smallest of them all. The next one that I stitched was the Stag Quaker. That's a big one. That was 7,338 stitches, and that took me 15 days. I thought it would never end. I say 15 days, it's like 15 stitching sessions. So I would try and touch it every day, but I just couldn't. I got through it. And this was all before I went to Stitch North. I needed to finish them all. So I did have like a tighter deadline than Yaz had given me. So yeah, it was a lot. Doesn't seem a lot when I just say, 15 days. Like, it took me just over 2 weeks. No, it felt like a lot longer. And then Christmas Village is the massive one with the big tree and the little village, and then the massive like 4 motifs at the bottom. Lovely. Tons of stitching. That's 9,143. I can't read my own writing. Stitches, and that took me 18 stitching days. So yeah, I get to show you my work now. It's like three finishes, FFOs, I guess. I didn't FFO them, but yeah, 3 finishes that I did that I can now show you. Yeah, I was pleased about that. And then the other thing that I'm into is my goals. So if you're new, since the beginning of the year when I did my whip parade, this is my whips. This is my magnet board. It sits right here, so I've got a visual of how many whips I've got, where they're up to. I've got like little notes of what project bag they're in. It helps me a lot. So most of them have a little goal on them that I set on my whip parade at the beginning of this year. So now I've touched everything. I've touched all my whips within 2024. There was one left. The last time I touched it was like December 23. I've touched it now. I fondled everything. So now everything's been touched. The ones that are shifted across here are the ones that I have completed that goal that I set myself at the beginning of the year, which is great. It's not a great percentage of them all, but these ones up to here don't have goals because I started them after my whip parade. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I haven't yet reached the goals on. 4, 5, 6, 7 I have reached the goals on. So when you talk about it like that, I rationalize to myself that I'm actually doing okay. So the plan is to achieve some of these goals. Some of them, I'd set myself unrealistic goals, I would say. I'm bad at that. I'm bad at setting myself realistic goals. Smart targets, I hate them. Don't like them. I just pluck something out of thin air and say, yeah, I'm going to do that. And I could do it in one session and tick off that goal. Wonderful. Another goal, I now look at it and think that's going to take me 20 years to finish that goal. Why did I make that goal for the year? We live and we learn. So we'll come back to this at the end and decide what we're going to work on. But just to say, I'm trying to work on my goals more. I'm trying to be more mindful, not go for the quick wins, get some sustained effort, see some progress. That's what I'm trying to do. So, in saying that, let's talk about what I worked on in the past 2 weeks. So I did have an FFO. I'm not going to show you. It's the present that I'm giving to my daughter's nursery. It's just a stitched version of their logo in a little frame. I don't want to show you the logo of where my daughter goes to nursery. But in the past 2 weeks, I put in 916 stitches. So that was 1,550 stitches altogether on that thing that I'm not showing you. I showed you some older, but maybe I'll show you one day when she doesn't go to that nursery anymore. But there you go. I'm sure you understand. So that takes us into this kind of second half of Stitch the Summer Olympic, #Stitch the Summer Olympics, hosted by Katie, the Naptime Stitcher. I had so much fun doing this. It scratched the itch of making sure I had touched all those whips that I hadn't touched since the beginning of the year, and it's now August, and I'm like, they feel so neglected, the poor babies. So I'm going to go in order of when I stitch them. So 1st of August, which was the day I filmed, but I hadn't stitched that day yet, was, I didn't write down the prompts. I don't really think it matters. I stitched on the whip. So this is a blast from the past that I really haven't worked on since, I don't know when. Notion will tell me. this is I just call it Christmas Village. These are the Mill Hill Buttons and Beads Christmas Village series. I'm doing 12 on one piece of fabric, and I'm going to make it into a wall hanging, she says, eventually. So my goal for this year was to stitch the 3 scenes at the bottom. This is how far I've got on that goal. We'll review new goals at the end of the year when I do my next whip parade. But so this one at the top, Victorian house, Queen Anne house maybe. That's that one. And the bakery. They are both fully stitched, fully backstitched, fully beaded. And then I realised I shouldn't be beading when I'm trying to put it on a Q-snap. So the rest of them are just stitched. Some of them have got the back stitch, but I'm going to go back and do all the beading and the detail and everything later on. So all I had to do was stitch 3 scenes. So this one that I'm working on is the skating pond. The middle one will be the train station. And then the other side will be caroling, I want to say. Let's see if my little notes are in here. This is the project bag it lives in, just one of these folders. So yeah, skating pond, toy shop, and caroling. And this is how I'm kind of doing everything. Before I started this massive project in 2019 maybe. It's been a while. It shouldn't have taken this long. I had all the kits. I took out all of the patterns and I listed all of the DMC that was in each one, and I just made like floss cards for each of those, because if you know, with these Mill Hill kits you get a ton of extra, so I didn't want to waste them. So the first couple I took everything out, took all the DMC out, took the beads out, so that eventually, so I'm working on this one right now, the skating pond. That's a whole kit in there. I might even leave off the button, but I don't need this thread or these beads because I have so much left over from the other kits that this can be a whole new kit for somebody else, which is great. I am planning to do 2 more of these. I have a lot more buttons and beads kits, and I have a list of the ones that I'm missing. I'm hoping to do them all that are in this series to make these wall hangings. So this is a 28 count linen in Dirty by Zweigart. It's a kind of colour that the perforated paper is, and I kind of like that. I left off all of the the falling snow from all of the patterns, but I will be beading, backstitching, and the buttons on most of them. I think that one where it's just like a giant mitten in the skating pond, I might leave it out because it kind of doesn't fit, whereas other ones are like in the bakery, it's like a gingerbread man on the sign. That kind of makes sense. And then I don't know how to finish it into an actual wall hanging. I might have to send it off to somebody to do some actual stitching, sewing with a machine kind of thing, and put it on a dowel so I can roll it up and then just unroll it and hang it at Christmas. I don't know. This is a whole yard of fabric. I won't need all the bottom of it, but I have 2 more yards of fabric for another 2 wall hangings. So yeah, I actually didn't do that much stitching on it, but this was kind of the start of I should really focus on some whips and really get them done. Really actually maybe not hit the goals, just move towards achieving them rather than letting them languish. Okie dokie. So the 2nd of August, I worked on Mother's Arms. This is a Mirabilia pattern. I am only doing a small circle section of it. This is kind of my baby announcement thing. It doesn't really feel like an announcement, just a me and Anna kind of thing. So I have worked on it recently, so here's where it was when you saw it last, and this is where I'm up to so far. So you can see the kind of the shape that I'm going for. I'm kind of just, I've drawn a circle on a working copy and deciding what stitches are far enough over the line to make it a circle. So it's not going to be a complete circle, and I'm hoping I can send it off to somebody to make it into like a round ornament, or maybe I'll just find a hoop myself and frame it. I'm not sure. But I'm kind of hoping it'll be okay. So you can see like the hand, kind of the arm comes in here and then dips off, and then this is the hand sort of coming in there. So this is just on 28 count even weave white. It's going to be kind of full coverage. I don't think I'm changing any of the DMC. I am changing some of the beads eventually. And I might bead this as I go, because it's all going to fit in this Q-snap, so I don't have to worry about moving the Q-snap and squashing beads. And then I'll be able to see colored beads whether it's good or not. I did have some, I bought some like mother of pearl star beads to put on this when I thought I was going to do the whole thing with her dress and everything, but I don't have time for that. But I still might put them on somewhere in the background if I feel like it. But yeah, I love this one. And again, like, shouldn't take me too long. I should just do some focus time on it and get really satisfied out of it. That didn't make sense. You know what I mean. So yeah, that's Mother's Arms by Mirabilia. That was one of my big start along things. I had wanted to start that for a long time, and then I started my Anna full coverage piece that then I abandoned because she was looking funny. So this is in place of my Anna, so that's why I wanted to start that one. The next one that I worked on was my Singer Sampler piece. This is by Silver Creek Samplers. It's like the Sound of Music. They are 4 separate patterns, but I'm doing them all together, and I'm doing it in one big row. It's like a complete colour conversion. Lots of people have done a rainbow type version. So this one did have a goal at the start of this year, was to fill in all the stuff in the boxes. So because this was like my first big colour conversion, like kind of colour converting the whole chart. I was a bit nervous, so I was doing a bit at a time. So I found the perfect rainbow for the do re mi. Then I was kind of colour converting the stuff in to make it a bit brighter. And then like in the mi, this is your name's supposed to be in here. I don't like putting my name on stitching, so I recharted the little like kind of daisy florals in there. Recharted the runner as Maria. I haven't recharted the bobbin as much as just changed the colour on that. Really love that. And then while I was in Canada at Stitch North, I picked out like a paler, I'm going to say paler? A different rainbow for the words inside. So the plan was to finish all the things in there. So I've got 3 more to do. And then this was the colour palette that Stitchinati helped me pick out for the words. So then I'll go back and do the words. And then there's all the words at the bottom. It says when you know the notes to sing, you can sing most anything. I don't know what colour to do that in. But again, I'll just get there when I get to it. This is on 40 count Cafe au Lait by Zweigart. This is the cursed fabric. There's been a lot of miscounting on this particular piece. I've got another project that you'll see in a minute that has mistakes. This whole thing has just been kind of dire. So I only worked on this bobbin and this bobbin this time. The next piece is like a bird with some musical notes, but I'm gonna rechart that. It just feels a bit different to the rest of them. Somebody had charted it with like the bird sitting on a branch, which is kind of more the style that I would like. So did I message them? Maybe I'll try and message them again just to say like, do you mind if I take some inspiration? Lots of people have taken inspiration on the Maria thing. I don't. Where do you draw the line with like, you're changing the chart and you're taking an idea from somebody else that's changed the chart? Do you get permission? Because at some point everybody, like, lots of people just do it and then it just grows legs. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of floss with this, just so I've got like things to choose from when I'm recharting the colours. If you're watching this and would like to do this chart, are doing this chart, and you want the colours that I've used, please let me know. I do have notes on them all, and I'd be happy to share that with you. Also I'm doing it 2/2 on 40 count, so it makes it very chunky, but I'm very happy with the way it's looking for that reason, because it's chunky. So yeah, didn't get too much done on that. Again, I should just sit down and make some good progress on it. The 4th, I worked on Arcadia by Satsuma Street. This is on a big piece of fabric that I don't need all this fabric. This is like doubled over. I should cut this off, but there you go. It's so cute. I love this one so much. I did get a good chunk done on this when I was working on it. I think it was on one of Michelle's Zooms or something. So I usually get a lot done when I'm sat watching her. Oh, I do count stitches on this, but I haven't written down what I got. I got to over 20%, which is my goal. So this can go away for the rest of the year now. So this is on a 32 count. It's like, I call it sky blue. It's by Coffee Craft Fabrics. I don't think they name their fabrics. But I think it's just perfect blue for this. And it's kind of inspired by It's a Small World at Disneyland, Anaheim. I really, really, really love it. I do not like the DMC light effects it calls for, but I am powering through with that just to get it done. So yeah, it's very chunky blocks of colour. Let me fold it so you can. Chunky blocks of colour. So it's really easy to kind of just take parts off. So I don't feel as bad for this one. I've got to the 20% that I wanted to from the beginning of the year. And it didn't take that long. So next year I could probably say get to finishing it. I don't know. I'm happy with the progress that I've made on that. I was happy with the goal that I set on that. That was a good one. This is my Kate Blanford floss drops, and not a lot of thread. It's looking a bit bare on there, but that's just the colours, like the kind of gold, yellow, and white and grey. It's beautiful. I love it. That's the 3 DMC light effects. Cursed light effects. If you know, you know. Next, 5th of August, I worked on Cat Quest. This was the These 20 Stitches and Uncanny Kari, their Spring Fling box with special Dyer guest Al. I love it so much. This is a 36 count, I think. Oh, I'm holding it back to front. 36 count linen. 36? I think 36. They've called it manuscript. Love it. Very neutral, mottled effect. Beautiful. And these 4 colours of hand-dyed thread that are to die for. To die for. This is a very, very chunky pattern. It's deceiving. So I worked on the green box in here. Most of this was started on the Spring Fling Zoom retreat that we had, and I just wanted to get a little bit of each colour in there. And then coming back, I'm just trying to work on it top to bottom, basically. So this one didn't have a goal because I started it after the start of the year. But yeah, I should not underestimate how long this is going to take. So we'll make some sensible goals, I think, for this year. Yeah. It doesn't look that big when you look at the pattern, but that's a lot of stitches. It's a lot of stitches. Next was the 6th of August, and I worked on Sleeping Bee. this is the other project that is on this 40 count Cafe au lait cursed fabric. What I even know, I can't even explain why this round pattern is on this piece of fabric with a whiskers worth of margin. Anyway, it's okay, we're carrying on. So my goal for this one, this is the Sleeping Bee by the Blue Flower, by the way. The goal was to finish the top half. I have not done that. I don't know why I'm kind of so stuck on this. Maybe it's the fabric. Because I do have to put it in a nerd hoop because it won't fit in a Q-snap. And then I can't get a nerd hoop on my Lowry stand very well, so then I have to hold it, and I don't like holding frames. Did find a big counting error around here, but I kind of figured it out, and I've just put on my working copy like a big circle around it saying do not count from this area. I'm hoping that'll be okay. So yeah, I did this leaf, finished this leaf, and these little berries. Not a lot of progress, but it was some. So yeah, again, one that I need to sit down and get a lot of progress on. Just a really good amount of progress rather than just like a little bit every now and then. Using the called for colours, I think. Maybe a couple of substitutions where I had something that would work, but true to the pattern. 7th of August, I worked on Stitch for Pride. Oh, I'm attached to a needle minder. So this is Stitch for Pride, the 2024 Stitch Along by Dee's 20 Stitches. Stitching and learning, all about LGBTQIA2S plus artists. So much fun. Brilliant designs every month. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. So this is where I'm up to so far. This is 36 count Latte by Fibre on a Whim. And I kind of picked out colours based on Dee's recommendations. I didn't get the official floss pack from Jazz. And I'm quite happy with the colours so far. So I used, I'm attached to my own hair. I used a Cottage Garden Threads nude. It's like Missed Eyes or End of Lots. I got it when I got the Hearts for Pam box, and I really love them. So I was using that, and then I saw people were starting to put like accent colours on. So I thought, oh, I've already picked a pink out. Let's use that pink in here, and then so on and so forth. So my floss ring has depleted somewhat because I use a colour as like the main thing, and then I use it as an accent. So I used the accent here, and then I used it as the main thing here. So then I take it off the ring and I don't use it again. So this is the colours that I have left, if you like. So the August one that I'm working on, I'm using Cottage Garden Thread Spruce. That was from the Egg Stitch the Rainbow Autumn Garden. Is that what it was called? Collab thing. Wild Violet used there. And using Classic Colourworks Hayride for the henna, and then I'll use the Cottage Garden for the big heart as well. So it's a little bit more muted than the rest, but I like that. I do like it. I was worried that it would look strange, but no, I do like it. So yeah, that's where I'm up to. I should just finish this one, like the August part, just today or whenever. I should have probably finished it before I filmed, but there you go. Yeah, so this one doesn't have a goal as such, but I'm just keeping up with the SAL, and it'll be finished by the end of the year. So that's fine. I'm already excited for what? Oh, where is it? Oh, I haven't got my bag. To see what Dee's gonna do next year. I'll be signing up. I'll be giving them the money. But I'm concerned that I'm now committing myself to too much stitching. If you know what I mean, like, I don't want to miss out either. I'll buy the pattern or whatever they're gonna create, because pay artists. But do I actually want to stitch the thing? I mean, I'll see. Maybe I'll look at it and say, absolutely, I have to do that immediately. Which I probably will. So I don't even know why I'm considering. Anyway. So the 8th of August, and then into the 9th of August, because I could not put her down, I'm working on Mirabilia's Autumn Queen. So the goal on this for the year was to finish the top 120 rows. Like, I took her off the key snap and I ironed her and everything for you. So I'll put what she looked like last time you saw her, which will have been at the beginning of the year. And this is what she looks like now. I did a lot on her. This was such my happy place. Stitching on her on the sofa and watching the Olympics. Like, I've stitched diving memories into this, cycling memories, athletic memories. I just love it. I love it. So, 120 rows down is there. So I've got this little bit to fill in until I hit that goal. So really I wasn't far off on that goal. Let me see if I can, now I've shown her, oh wait a minute. So 120 stitches isn't quite halfway. It's just where after this bit her dress gets huge around here. So that's where I kind of cut it off at the 120 rather than go to like 140 or wherever it was. I think it's around here because I think I started in the middle and then went up. Because then there would be a lot of extra bit like around here. So I do the top and then the rest is just big skirt. So yeah, there's going to be a ton more stitching, ton more beads. I'm not beading as I go on this one. I am back stitching and all of the skin is 1/1. Love it. So let me get a close up. There she is. I love her. I really, really love her. I did buy all of the seasonal queens, but I will probably not do them. I love the autumn one because autumn's my favorite time. So I've got a big thread situation here for some colour that carries on down, but I couldn't get past my Q-snap. Yeah, I don't know if you can see, I've put the water soluble pen mark where the middle is. So yeah, I'm quite happy with the progress that I've made there. Depending on what the before looked like, I might do the before and after here so you can see. So this is on 28 count Dove Grey by Safigart. I really love it. So this was one that I was kind of waiting for to roll the dice when I was doing that to decide what to work on next. And that kind of made, you know when you flip a coin to kind of make a decision, and as the coin is in the air, you know what you want it to land on, so that's made up the decision for you. Like it doesn't matter what the coin actually lands on, it's just the moment of, you know what you'd wish for. That's what I was getting to with the dice I was rolling, and I was like wishing for it to land on 2 or 3 because it was like, it's one of my older pieces. So I was just like, I'm just going to work on it because of the challenge, really. But now I see that I should just work on things that I want to work on and work on them for a long time, not just for a couple of days between filming. Like, I want to make content, but I shouldn't be ruled by the content. I'm not monetized. So that was the 8th and 9th. Because I couldn't put it down. I managed to make it fit for whatever the challenge was the next day as well. Oh, let me show you actually this. I'm not going to show you the chart, but this is my working copy of it. So you can see like a vague outline. If that's the top of her head, that's where I am. You can see the highlight. But then look at this skirt. How big is that? I don't know why I did it like this. Made sense in my head. It does make sense. I've lined it up pretty nicely and taped all the bits together. So yeah. And the skirt is big, but it's big blocks of colour, so it's not gonna be too bad. I'll just whip through that. It'll be fine. I kind of, the next day, the 10th of August, I don't know if this has become a fear or I don't know. Quirky Quakers. Again, if you've not been here since the beginning of the year, talking about goals and stuff, I started WhipGo with all good intentions, and I probably should have realised I was never going to stick to WhipGo. Tried it in 2022, didn't stick to it then. Tried it this year for EPP, QQ, WhipGo, English paper piecing, Quirky Quaker, WhipGo. False start right off the bat. So I'm trying to do English paper piecing, a little English paper piecing quilt with Quirky Quakers and some patchwork fabric, you know, but do it tiny, do it like 1-inch hexies. So to do a Quirky Quaker, to fit onto a 1-inch hexie, you have to do it 1/1 on, depending on the stitch count. This one is on 1/1 and 36 count, which is fine. But then, having very little experience of actually stitching tiny and just basking in the glory of Stitchy Natty and Kaylee Cross Stitch, it'll be easy. It'll be fine. If they can do it, I can do it. Well, I can do it. I just need the right materials. So I didn't have thread thin enough. I was told on good authority I needed Gloriana cheetah silk to do that. I was like, great. I can't get cheetah silk here in the UK. To buy it overseas, pay enormous shipping costs. So that was kind of dead in the water from day one. So when I went to Stitch North in April, Natty hooked me up. Like, She is probably the most generous. I mean, everybody in this community is lovely. We all know, like, anybody would give anybody anything that they needed. But Natty just let me raid her Tudor silk stash. And you only need a little bit for, you know, each piece, so it's not a lot. But, you know, I'm raiding her stash, and it has saved me exorbitant amounts of money to have my own stash when I don't do this a lot. Natty does it a lot. And shipping costs and customs fees and all of that. So again, I bow down to you, Natty. Thank you so much. So I started this one, my first Quirky Quaker. Well, my first EPP Quirky Quaker, because I've stitched other Quirky Quakers full size, let's say. And I'm trying to do them all on neutral fabric so that when I put them in a quilt, they'll all be relatively coherent. So I'm stitching this one on 36 count. It's a fibre on a whim. Wheat is this one. And it looks better in person, but it's really hard to show on camera. There's where I'm at. So you can see the sand portion doesn't really show up that great. It does show up better in real life. It's still, you know, you wouldn't usually put it on a neutral fabric. But I'm hoping when I cut it down to a hexie and it's got other stuff around it, it'll pop more. I'm hoping. Anyway, I'm struggling with the stitching 1/1 and 36 count. So I haven't got very far with it. And you know, it just sits there and I'm like, oh, I'm going to struggle with it. I don't want to pick it up. And I just need to. I need to get over this one. I need to pick another one that's not going to be as taxing on the eyes of, you know, stitching neutral on neutral. But I'm very happy with it. So I got quite a bit done. I'm not finished yet. I need to finish and just move on. You know, and keep up the momentum, because it's now August, middle of August, and I haven't even finished one Quirky Quaker EPP, and I'm supposed to be doing like 2 a month. So I'm already very far behind. It's out the window. I've deleted the Whipco board. That's absolutely fine. Maybe we'll start again next year with, again, more reasonable goals. So yeah. It's about as much as I can say on that. Oh no, I lost my needle minder. Anna wants this tiny, tiny needle minder, and I've said no. So yeah, I've got it on a tiny hoop. The rest of the fabric's here because I don't want to cut it up, because I could cut it really close to put it on a hexie. And it's fine. And it just lives in a tiny little pouch because that's all it needs. It's my stitching shit pouch from Kate Blanford. I feel bad for this one. I don't know. So I've deleted the Whipco board. There's kind of no goal with that, but I do want to start the EPP quilt, even if it takes me years. And then Deanna's coming out with Quirky Quakers all the time, so I need to keep up. So Deanna, if you could just stop for a bit, that would be great. Let me catch up. Thank you. And then last for the Olympics was Glittering Leaves. So this is one that I started recently on my big startathon. Wasn't along. I don't think anybody else was doing it. Glittering Leaves by Mirabilia. This one I want to finish by the end of the year because it's little. Should be little. Should just get it over with. Which way does it go? That way? Yeah. So this is where I am. This is on 28 count. 32 count? 32 count. Dusty Cottage by Be Stitch Me. This is kind of like the middle, is the start of her leg. It's going to come down here and her body's going to go up here. I love it. It's so much fun, so simple. I love it on this fabric. I love the water lilies. It's just lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. This is all of my thread on, again, Kate Blanford for the DMC. It's all a tangled mess. And then I've got the water lilies on paper ones. I love this. This is tropical. It's Tequila Sunrise, excuse me. And this is Hot Peppers. Look at that. It's beautiful. Beautiful. And I have a thrifted frame for this. So yeah, I want to get this done and framed and boxed off. So no specific goal for that. Yeah. Okay, so that was all of my Olympic stitching. I had them on a separate post-it note, so I'm going to move that over on my notebook. So other whips that I've worked on since I last saw you. Trina and I started Serbian Proverb by La Di Da. And we have a little Zoom date once a month to just work on it together. And it's so much fun. It's lovely. I love Trina so much. And I'm glad that I'm doing this with her. So just sort out the keys now. It looks a bit wonky, but it's just the keys now. So this is where I'm up to. I think I'll put in a before because I have worked on it recently. And I have done quite a bit because I'm at the corner. I've turned the corner. This is on 40 count Valor by Picture This Plus. This is one of the pieces that Imogen got me for my birthday. Oh, well, my husband paid for it, but they picked it out for me because my husband would not pick out something like this for me. And me and Trina are just kind of doing chaos colours. So I just picked out some of my favourite colours out of my stash. And I'm just plopping them in kind of wherever. So it's all kind of blues. This is Cottage Garden Threads Blue Cypress. This is what I'm using for the border of the words. This is a Brennan needle. I think is it called Wreck House? Is it called Old Hag? I'm not sure. This is a piece that I used on Michelle Stitch It For Me. So now it's going into my version of the Stitch It For Me. So, can't remember. Oregano. So I've got like blues and greens, and I've got a cream in there too. And then it all kind of goes around this water lilies. This is Desert Shadow. So you've got the greens, you've got the blues, you've got the purples. Everything's kind of around that kind of scheme. Trina's is much more chaotic than mine. It's fantastic. She was working on this like pink spotted thread. Was it a Brennan needle? Like that kind of style. And it's wonderful. And I love this chart. I love Trina. I love doing a colour conversion. It's brilliant. So yeah, I started this recently, so it doesn't have a goal, but I only work on it when we're on the Zoom. And I get quite a lot done on a Zoom with Trina, which is nice. And the next Zoom, we're going to crash Megan's Lord of the Rings Zoom. So we'll have more people to share it with, which is nice. The other thing that I stitched on, I took this to Glasgow yesterday in the car while my colleague was driving, and I stitched in the car. No shame, and she doesn't judge, which is nice. So this is one that I usually take to Anna's swimming lesson. It's been cancelled quite a lot recently, so I thought I'd get some progress in while someone else is driving for about 3 hours. So this is where I am. I managed 730 stitches since I last saw you. That was a lot of filling. So I'm starting on the little, the steam thing. And yeah, this is, I'll show you the before, last time you saw it. And so this is the third. This is, did I say? Just skipped over the entire bit. This is by Wild Violet Cross Stitch. This is called Moon Tea Time. This is part of the X Stitch the Rainbow collaboration with Treenway Silks. Tea Time Sal, I think it is. So there's 4 colours of Treenway Silks, which are just gorgeous to work with. So I've done 2 others, Ink Circles and Tiny Modernist. And so I'm going to finish this one, and they're all be framed in the same frame, so I'll have a little triptych kind of thing. And they're all stitched on this 28 count, I think, linen by Permin. That's why it's so see-through, but it's good. It works with these colours. I really like it. Yeah, that's where I am. So I don't think there's much. There's a big moon, some stars, the rest of the steam, and a little, like a tea bag tag sticking out. And then I'll have to find another swimming project. Maybe I can do my BPP ones there. The lighting's okay most of the time. And the last one that I worked on was just so that I could get to the point where I could say I've touched all my whips in 2024. This was the last one to be called to work on. This is Noel Blanc by Renato Parolin. I'm stitching this on a 28-ish count band linen. So it'll be a bell pull. It's 1/1. It's called Noel Blanc because I think it's supposed to be mistletoe, so white berries and they're quite distinctive leaves. The white was not showing on this fabric, so I just changed it to red, and they're just red berries with leaves, and the N and the NOEL will be in red, not white. There'll be some white in there, maybe, but I just had to change it. It just wasn't working on this fabric, and I chose this specific pattern to fit on this specific band linen that I got at the Knitting and Stitching Show. So the goal for this year was to finish this top garland. There is quite a bit of stitching to do on there, but again, this is just one that I just haven't sat down with and done any kind of real progress. This is a 6x6 Q snap, so I could take this swimming. But again, lighting for the 1/1 is difficult. So yeah, I've touched it. I'm not counting stitches on this one because it's a paper pattern. Oh, but I have, this is something else that I got in the knitting and stitching show, was this bell pull like holder. So that's what, it's a whole pattern that I'm doing based around the band that I got and the bell pull that I got. It will be nice once it's done, but it's just not one that I reach for ordinarily. So I just have to make an effort. So yeah, a kind of semi colour conversion on that, I would say. And yeah, deceptive how much stitching is in that, I think. So that was all my whips. That was a lot. It's a long time. I've got stuff everywhere now. I have to have a real tidy up once I'm done. So, haul. If you saw my Instagram stories from last weekend, me and my mum went to the North East Wool Show. She is a knitter. Some people who have been watching a very long time, when this channel used to be me and my mum together, wanted to see her back, so I'm going to try and persuade her to come back at the end of the year and do her kind of year roundup of what she's been knitting on. She doesn't stitch and I don't knit, so let me know if you want to see mum again. She got a lot because it's her birthday. It was her birthday on Tuesday. So for the past 2 years that we've been to this show, it's like happened around her birthday. So it's her birthday treat. So she treats herself, as she should. It is a wool show, but there was a couple of stitcher embroidery stuff there for me. So Midge Porter Designs, who I hadn't heard of before, had a little store. She had a lot of black work kits, which was really interesting, really lovely. And she had some lovely thread, like all on a little spinny thing. And I thought, oh, I could get a couple of threads. And then, of course, I can't decide which colours to get. But luckily, she had a pack of 12. So these are, I think it's like 2-ply cotton, but non-divisible. So maybe like a, it's not quite a number. What's the really thin pearl cotton? I don't know. I could do 1 over something. I'll do some test stitching. Anyway, because it's such a lovely set, they're all like this, you know, the same ply and everything. I'd like to do a pattern that's either 12 colours, because it is 12 colours. It's not an exact rainbow, but some of these are quite variegated. Like this one is like black to blue. This one's like light, like a lilac to a beige. So it's not a traditional rainbow, but there's lots of colours in there, and you could definitely make something of it. Anyway, so if you have any suggestions of like rainbow, I know there's like the rainbow band samplers, but I don't really want to do something like that. Somebody mentioned doing like making a monochromatic piece and just doing a fade, like splitting it up, which sounds really interesting. But I don't know, it seems like I could sub, like I could put this in Stitch for Pride or something else, but because they're all lovely, of the same type, and they've all been dyed in a similar way, not colour wise, but You know what I mean? I'd like to use them all on one piece. So let me know if you have any ideas. Otherwise, I'll just sit until I find an idea. But yeah, that's Midge Porter Design. I'll link them below. She was a lovely lady. Yeah. And then one other thing that I got was, this is a pouch that I got from Deanna at Stitch North. It's just a little pencil pouch, little one. But I have some patches that I didn't really know what to do with, so I thought, oh, I'll just put them on here and it'll be a stitchy pouch. So I've got Viva La Vulva and a moon. So now I'm on the lookout for patches. So I got a strawberry patch at the Knitting and Stitching show to add to this. So if you've got any patches lying around that you don't know what to do with, send them my way. I'll happily put them on here. Or if you know any cool patch designers, let me know. That was my haul. Again, I'm trying to be mindful of the spending. So that was haul. So plans. It's the 16th. On the 19th, so Monday, a bunch of us are going to start Tiny Modernist Moon Phase Bell Pull. And some of us are doing it on Kaylee 10 Stitch fabric. I showed you, I didn't get it out. I showed you at the time when I got it in with my new project bag. But she's dyed like an Aurora kind of inspired fabric. It's beautiful. If you don't have that fabric, it's absolutely fine. You can still join in the sal. We're calling it #Aurora Moon Phase Bell Pull sal, I think. Yeah. So we're gonna excuse me. We're gonna start it on Monday the 19th because that is the next full moon. It just seems appropriate. So that's my plan, to start that on Monday. Plants and Petrichor came out. I did sign up for that. The frames have been out for a while, but I was thinking of starting it on the same fabric that I did the Femurs and Fungi on, the kind of forest green even weave. But I wasn't sure I wanted to commit myself to it because I didn't know how it was going to look. So today the first drop has come out and it's the window. And it's like the outside of the window, like what you see looking out of the window. Which is good because I am going to do it on the green fabric. I'm going to start it, but I just wanted to make sure that the green on the Femurs and Fungi, the reason that I chose that, I was like, I wanted it to be as if you were looking at shelves and frames on like a wall, and like a really, like you were in a library. It's like a dark wallpaper or paint, and that's what you were looking at. That's what I wanted the feeling to be. So I didn't know if I would put it on that fabric, whether the fabric would have to be the outside of the window, or it could be a window like on this library wall, if you think about it. So the drop has released and it's stitched. The window is stitched as if you're looking outside of it. So it will work for this dark green fabric that I did. I was terrible explaining. I'm waffling. So I'm going to start that. Looks like a lot of stitching in that drop. So I have to catch up on the frames and the first drop. Maybe I'll just stitch the window and stitch the shelves as they get released. But I'm glad I waited. I'm glad I double checked on that. So kind of looking back where we started on my whip magnet board. So moon phase is here, plants and petrichor is here. Ink circles round robin I do need to do, but I think I'm going to leave it another 2 weeks till the start of September. And then I'll have the whole of September. It needs to go off at the end of September. That's Natty's piece, is the Elemental Dragons piece. Doesn't look like it's that stitch intensive. I hope I'm not kidding myself with that, but I need a reset with this before I start too much. I'm going to start moon phase and plants and petrichor, and it seems like too much now that I'm on this road of like do a lot on one thing rather than a little on a lot of things. Yeah? So we're starting again with this. For this first one, I'm not gonna make a plan on what my whip is gonna be. We're gonna start moon phase on Monday, see where we get with that. We're gonna start plants and petrichor, see where we get with that. And then I'm just gonna see what I feel like doing. And I will just let you know next time what happened. How's that sound? Maybe? I don't know. Life stuff. Not really anything to update you on. No. Nothing interesting. So I will love you and leave you. Thanks for hanging around. Subscribe if you are new and you liked anything that you saw. Like, because I think that helps. I don't really know how. And leave a comment, because I love comments, and I try and get back to everybody in the comments, because I love chatting with you guys. So yeah, be kind and free Palestine. Love you. Bye.